Alf, at what point will CT scanning be taken seriously? Maybe now. Be right back. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. It is football Sunday. Hope everyone is ready, gearing up for awesome football action, at least for my New Orleans Saints. I want to see a little bit of awesome. The last 5 weeks have been not awesome. So we will see how it goes. Before I get started, today's topic about CT scanning. Huge thanks to today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. If you want to sell on eBay, but the hassle of all the individual listings, the posting, the shipping, all the stuff, you can easily just shoot it off to DC Sports 87 like I do with a lot of my cards. I'm actually putting a package together here to send out over the next couple of days. Easy peasy, quick payments. It's all good over there at DC Sports 87. All right, so Nick over at Sports Card Madness put out a live, I think it was on IG that he did it, and then he did a YouTube video yesterday, I believe, on this subject. And it seems that CT scanning is not going away. It seems like, if anything, it's expanding, which I think is pretty troublesome for anybody that's buying new product. And guys, it's no secret that I'm just not a fan of how it's going down as far as distribution for new product. And this is kind of another little chink in the armor of distribution for buying boxes on the secondary market. Because what we're hearing now, and if Nick is correct here at Sports Card Madness, this one CT scanning company, keep in mind, this is one company. Are there other companies? Are there 2 companies? Are there 10 of the companies that are doing this? Are there 100 companies that are doing this or getting into this? According to Nick, they're working like 18 hours a day scanning boxes or something like that. Or anyway, they're basically working around the clock. They're backed up until like, November or something. Like they're backed up for the next month. They can't even take new orders in or something to that effect. There's also rumors that are floating that it's not just individuals that are getting boxes scanned, but actual companies too that are getting into scanning boxes. And of course, look, I mean, going back to the 80s, 90s, I remember there was, going back to the Walmarts and the Kmarts of the world, you would walk in and there was a lot of these guys that would go to the card section and they could kind of read packs. They were able to see like which card is on the top, and based on kind of how the cards were segmented, had the sequence of the cards, they were able to figure out what was in those packs. Or they just see like, oh, there's a Michael Jordan card on the top. Especially the cello packs. You could like actually kind of configure and read the pack, so to speak. There was guys that were very good at this. Card shop owners would go to the local Kmart, Walmart, Target, and pull out kind of the good packs, get the good cards and that sort of thing. Because back then, there wasn't a one-of-one to pull. There wasn't a huge chase or hit. It was just stacking, 89 Upper Deck rookies or stacking, Michael Jordan cards or whatever it was. Times have changed, and man, this is a lot more advanced. And based on what, Nick had showed in his video yesterday, for Topps Mercury in particular, you can very clearly see the number. You can see it's a Wembanyama card. You can also see kind of the silhouette or the outline of the card so that you can kind of get an idea of, okay, which one that is in the set. And then you can see the autograph there, so okay, this is the autograph card, and you can see that it's numbered out of 75. You can see if it's numbered out of 20 or 50 or whatever it is. And that's such a game changer when it comes to deciding, am I opening this $8,000, $10,000 box? You can very easily go in the secondary market and see, okay, what are the autos out of 75 going for? Whoa. $2,000? Okay, maybe I don't want to open this $10,000 box, and I'm going to put it, right back on eBay and sell it to somebody else who will open it and get the $2,000 card out of it. That's kind of where we are. That's the, I guess, I don't know if I would call it the danger, but it's a huge risk to the consumer. Now, we're talking about an $8,000 to $10,000 box of Topps Mercury that most people won't buy. Most people are not going to buy that box. However, we shouldn't pretend like they're just scanning these. I'm sure that if they aren't yet, eventually they'll get to the $500 hobby box or the $1,000 hobby box or whatever it is. And of course, then it just causes a problem of, all right, how many of the boxes that are sitting on eBay that are being resold through whatever company, how many of them have been scanned? And like I said, this is not slowing down. They are scaling up the business, and it's global, according to Nick. We're working with people all over the world at this point. It's a huge problem for manufacturers. I know that a lot of the sellers and shop owners that kind of talk this down as, this isn't really a big deal. This this is what this feels like to me. This feels like this news is coming out and it's not really being taken very seriously. But I think that as time goes on, a year from now, 2 years from now, this is a topic that's going to expand. This is going to be something that becomes a lot more of an issue down the road as more and more people start taking it a little bit more seriously. And I think the biggest concern is average Joe just getting into the hobby, doesn't follow any sort of content, it doesn't give a damn about a YouTube channel like mine or an IG account or whatever, has no idea whatsoever that CT scanning wouldn't even be on your radar. If I was getting back into the hobby today, I would be like, oh my gosh, cards are being graded now. It would take months, maybe years before I figured out, wait, what, CT scanning? What is this all about? I would have no idea. And again, we're coming up to the holidays. People are coming in to buy boxes. You know, their kid wants a box. Dad, can we get the new Prism, this or that or whatever? Can we splurge and buy this $2,000 box, you know, of this older product? Can we? And the concern, of course, is just that how many of these boxes are now getting the CT scan treatment and have already been buzzed through. They've already figured out, okay, not really much in this box. Put that one on eBay or put that one, you know, out for the secondary market to go and open, to buy and open. It's not great. It's not great. And again, I'm really talking more to the unsuspecting new collector that's trying to come in. And I'm really talking, it's moms and dads out there really, you know, because when you look at a lot of the young people in the hobby, you're like, man, they got this Pelican case. It's full of great cards. Well, they didn't pay for it themselves. Their parents gave them the money and they maybe they built it up over time, buying, selling, trading themselves, but someone had to fund this project. And I think we're seeing a lot more of that. And it's not necessarily, you know, the wealthy folks either. I think there's a lot of middle class families that are trying to collect cards and trying to take part in this hobby, not understanding a risk like this, which is a dramatic risk. I mean, if this is something, honestly, like if I was getting in and I found this out, and I'm probably a lot more risk averse when it comes to this sort of thing. I'm not a gambler, not into the repacks, the duck games, the carnival games, the shoot a basket, win a pack. It's just not me, you know, but there are a lot of people that are trying to navigate this, and we will lose a lot of people if we don't get a handle or at least give people the information on what is going on. And of course, manufacturers have to very, very quickly figure this out. For new product, I mean, this has got to be a thing. This has got to be number one priority over there at the manufacturers, is just figuring out how can we stop this. There's got to be a layer, I don't know, tin foil or something around this thing, whatever the science is, to make these things not scannable. There has to be something that they do moving forward, but it still doesn't fix the problem of all the other boxes. You know, how much sealed product is out there? A lot. There's a ton of sealed product out there from years ago, years past. And I think I saw that they can also now scan vintage too. So even the older stuff, the 80s and back, you know, where you've got a box, you got packs, unopened packs, they can probably scan that stuff too. So what does that say for the sealed product market over time? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I have no idea. And again, maybe the hobby treats this as a nothing burger. I just don't see how this can be treated as a nothing burger forever. It feels like it's not going away. If these scanning companies are making money, and it's fairly easy money that people are willing to pay for it, what's going to happen inevitably? More CT scanning companies will come because they're like, oh my gosh, like this is a moneymaker. So inevitably, we probably see more of these companies doing it. I think it goes without saying that I don't think it's good. I mean, come on. If you're able to essentially kind of cheat and find out what's inside, is that a positive for the hobby? No, it's not. I mean, the whole thing is based on, look at what all the breakers, everything is based on, you know, the chance of getting that big hit. Everything, like 90% of our hobby, 90% of the marketing is all about, oh, we got this huge card in this product, this, that, or whatever. And it's all about that break, you know, or getting into the hobby box, that new product to get these, you know, these big hits. I mean, it's like stealing signs in baseball, or it's like, you know, it's like one of these kind of scandals where it's just like, man, that just really changes the whole landscape of things. One kind of effect I think that it's going to have over time is I think it's going to put a lot more emphasis on the singles market. Meaning that, are people going to really gamble into this sort of stuff? Or are they just going to say, you know what, I don't want the risk of where did this box come from? Did it come directly from Topps to that person who is now opening it? This is the perfect excuse for Topps to have to go direct to consumer. Just basically saying like, hey, look, like this is an issue. We're just going to sell direct to consumer. So the only way that you know that you're getting a box that hasn't been CT scanned 100% is it's coming directly from Topps, or it's coming directly from Panini, or directly from Leaf, or whichever manufacturer. I just don't see how it ends any other way unless the manufacturers do figure out how to, okay, we're going to put some sort of a fancy little thing in there that makes it so you can't scan the product. But does it mean that more and more people look to the singles market? To say like, you know what, I'm just not bothering with this. I'm just going to go to the singles market. We'll have to see though. And again, a lot of things happen in this hobby and people kind of look the other way, or there's kind of, you know what, it's not that big of a deal, or how many boxes are really being affected. Well, and the reason for the video really too is to talk more about, I think the biggest thing is it'd be one thing if the company's like, hey, we're scaling this down. There's not any demand for it. No one's interested in CT scanning boxes or packs. But from what we're hearing, if Nick is correct over at Sports Card Madness, assuming that he's correct, is that it's going the other way. The demand is high. They can't scan fast enough. And that tells me that this is going to be more and more of an issue. This is not going away. And so what's going to come of it? And are we ever going to take this seriously? Like with a lot of other things, card cleaning is one of these things that I've been spouting off. I've made a ton of videos on how I can't stand card cleaning. And there's people that what we saw, there was a Jackie Robinson card where someone turned an SGC 1.5 into a PSA 3 here recently, and PSA ended up deactivating the card, I believe. People are just going to do whatever they can to gain an advantage, unfortunately, and it's just, unless we're speaking out, there's a lot of new people getting in. If we're really serious about growing hobby, we're really, really serious about, hey, inviting new people in, then these are things that have to be talked about. They've got to be worked out. This is not something that we can't sit by and just think, you know what? This is all great. This is all gravy, because it's not. It's not all gravy. These are threats. To me, these are direct threats. I don't want to buy a collectible that has been cleaned or altered or fixed or whatever unknowingly. And hey, look, if you've altered it, if you've cleaned it up, if you've dinged it, you threw it, you put the lotion on it, put the lotion from the basket, and you got it, you put the lotion all over the card or whatever. I just want to know that, and I'll pay less for it. I'm not paying the uncleaned, unaltered price for that card. And nobody would. Nobody would if they knew. If anybody knew, think about how tough negotiations are for collectibles, especially trading cards at a card show. Everyone's looking for any different reason. If you're buying a card, you're trying to negotiate down, the seller's trying to negotiate up. And if you know that's a clear advantage for the buyer. And if it was disclosed that there was juices and there was lotions and there was whatever potpourri put on it, you would not pay the same price. You wouldn't. And that's the problem. That's the problem. There's no transparency. There's not any disclosure. We're just pretending like, hey, we're just fixing cards and making them pretty. And we're just kind of ignoring the fact that if you turn it from a 2 to a 5, it might be a 5-figure difference in price for certain cards. 6 figures for certain cards. Come on. Like, are we all idiots? I don't think we are. I know my audience is not. My audience gets it. But, you talk to people and it's like, no, I think the card cleaning is totally fine. I don't really see the problem in it. Really think through that. Think through that a little bit harder. That's all that I've got today, my friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.